AI is currently being trained, although we're sort of moving away from the pre-training, but that's a conversation for another time. AI is currently being trained with a whole different array of moral compasses. And it's starting to display behavior which isn't necessarily programmed. And this isn't the first time that we're seeing this, because when we started to play around with NLP within AI, in order for the system to start providing reasoning as to how it was connecting different patterns, especially if we're talking about unsupervised learning models where they're not necessarily trained with labeled data, the patterns that the AI continues to create tend to be sort of on the left field, right? So we don't quite understand it intellectually. And so we developed natural language programming. And one of the factors within NLP was to allow the system to produce reasoning as to how it got to a certain output. And within that process, it started to develop, and this is an emergent quality of the AI system in itself, it started to develop what is now called sentiment analysis. And so it was starting to understand the emotional context around the process that it was trying to explain. Because the only way that we actually understand things, and when we communicate with each other, there, to a certain degree, there are emotions involved. So we pick up on our tonalities, we pick up on eye contact, we pick up on just general behavior around our physicality as well. So in order for the AI to actually provide reasoning during this NLP creation and discovery, it started to generate an emergent property, which is sentiment analysis. So it had to almost create this way of understanding sentiments and emotions to be able to reason with us. Because if it was up to the AI system, perhaps the reasoning would only happen in binary, zeros and ones, or some kind of Morse code. Like, we don't really know. But in order for us to understand how and why the AI system got to a certain output, it understood that we needed some level of sentimental reasoning. And so it created this. It was an emergent property. And similar to that, the AI systems that are being trained and also somewhat restricted with some form of a moral boundary or guardrails. But how far does that moral compass actually hold? We don't know yet.